Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dale Menyo. Happy New Year, everyone. We were driving back from dinner with friends last night in Findlay, and depending on where you were, some of the rain had more texture of snow, so maybe some of you got snow this morning. If you did, I hope you like it. If not, it will melt and eventually turn back to water. Over the past 4 days, my rain gauge adds up to 4.48 inches of rain, and it came slow enough. A lot of it did go in the ground, but the pond is running to overflow for the first time this year. Let's check out some local news that I'm sure is making national headlines with more. Here's Joel Panorwood.
In a notable development for Ohio's poultry industry, USDA's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service has confirmed an outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza, commonly referred to as bird flu. That happened at a commercial laying facility in Darke County, we're told. Detected on December 27th, it's affected just under 1 million laying hens. State officials have initiated quarantine measures and in the process of depopulating the affected flock to prevent further spread of the disease. Now, keep in mind, the Ohio Department of Agriculture emphasizing that the incident poses no risk to public health and poultry products remain safe for consumption when properly cooked. The exact location not identified by ODA, as it does not do so for active cases. The Ohio Department of Agriculture actively urging all poultry owners, including those with backyard flocks, to enhance biosecurity measures. This, the only commercial incident of bird flu in 2024 in Ohio. There was also a case of HPAI found in a Wood County dairy herd with cows that had recently been moved in from Texas. More at ohioagnet.com. I'm Joel Panorwood reporting.
And thanks, Joel. Let's check in with Joe Everett with an update on first ever ammonia carbon intensity verification program and what that's all about.
The Fertilizer Institute is launching the Verified Ammonia Carbon Intensity Program, a voluntary certification of the carbon footprint of ammonia production at a specific facility. It's the first program of its kind and is designated to provide ammonia consumers seeking to reduce emissions across their supply chains with an independent and certifiable carbon intensity score. As agriculture looks to develop more sustainable and resilient supply chains, the Verified Ammonia Carbon Intensity Program provides ammonia consumers with certifiable transparency that will allow them to quantify positive impact of using low-carbon ammonia has on their greenhouse gas emissions footprint, says President and CEO Corey Rosenbusch. VACI is initiating a 60-day public consultation period for ammonia consumers and stakeholders to provide feedback on the program and its methodology via a survey. VCI intends to redefine their program based on the comments it receives. Ammonia is one of the world's most widely produced chemicals. I'm Joe Everett reporting.
And thanks, Joe. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the first New Year forecast.
Colder air dominates in Ohio here as we start off 2025. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you here in Ohio. For your New Year's Day, no major trouble spots. After all the moisture that we've seen over the past few days, we are going to start to dry down a little bit here. Today, I don't look for a lot of new precipitation. Anything we do see, in my mind, is going to come due to lake effect. We got some decent northwest flow coming across the Great Lakes, and that's going to trigger cloud cover off and on through today, and maybe some flurries and light snow showers, especially in northern parts of the state. I'm mostly looking for lake effect with accumulation being limited to northeastern Ohio. But in any case, lake effect today, I think we see a dry down tomorrow, clouds and some sunshine. Clouds coming back overnight tomorrow night with some flurries into early Friday morning to midday, and then we get some sunshine back to finish out Friday. Saturday should be the nicest day of the next several. It's chilly for sure, but we do see our best sunshine potential on Saturday, and then Sunday clouds increase, and we've got a significant low pressure area trying to move out of the central and southern plains toward the eastern Corn Belt. At this point, the track of the low suggests maybe more of a southern route, which would lean more towards snow here, but I'm still leaving the door open for rain, snow, both or nothing in parts of Ohio as this low moves through. We'll zero in on it a little bit more by the end of the week. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Joining me is Kip Jacobs, CCA, yes, Certified Crop Advisor, but maybe more importantly, Technical Service Manager, Northern Field Crops for UPL North America. And Kip, thanks for joining us today. As we look at 2025, last year in Ohio was dry. There's always new products being developed and so on. What would you tell people to look for this year as they get ready to hit the fields?
Absolutely. So first off, Dale, thank you for taking the time and having me on today. Always excited to talk about UPL and some of the new products that we have to offer. Two things really exciting for 2025 coming to the market for UPL. We've got a brand new bio-nematicide. It's called Nemaxa. And what that product does is 3 strains of Bacillus bacteria. It's going to provide very good control of nematodes as well as a really nice biostimulant response in the soil from the very beginning. And then we've got a brand new herbicide coming to the corn market. And what this product is going to be, it is Entrava DX. Entrava DX is a brand new introduction of a novel Group 5 CS2 inhibitor. So this is going to be a brand new introduction of a new active ingredient since about 2017 into the herbicide market, being brought to you solely by UPL.
And when we talk about UPL, it is actually, the website is upl-ltd.com. But for a local contact your local ag chem dealer and find out more about the product. If you know the name Austin Secor, he may be your first link in Ohio. Ohio, a lot of it was really dry. The weed control, depending on where you were, could have been excellent to non-existent. So any specific recommendations as people look at, they're going back to their combine time where there's still weeds there? What should we observe and how do we approach that given this unusual year last year?
Yeah, so absolutely. Moisture is going to continue to be an important factor, but also pay attention to your soil type. Finer textured soils with more organic matter, obviously going to need a little bit more active ingredient out there versus some of the coarser texture, lower organic matter soil. So be sure you're focusing, following the label recommended rates based on your soil type, but moisture is going to continue to be an important factor, and be sure you really pay attention to the incorporation requirements of those products. A lot of the products we're seeing now, 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch of rain is what we'd like to see within about 3 days after application. Some of the new products, such as Entrava DX by UPL, we're focusing on that moisture incorporation. That's going to continue to be an important topic, where about a 1/2 inch of incorporation is going to be sufficient for these new products from UPL. But when we get into some of the layered residual or those post-application residuals later in the season, that's where that moisture is going to really become important too. And there we really need to focus on what active ingredient you're putting out into the soil. Where there's certain active ingredients that work really well pre-emergent, they oftentimes require a lot of rain to get incorporated effectively, which may not be the case. We may not be able to achieve that amount of rainfall in the post-application. Just be sure you're working with your local agronomist and your retailer to be sure that you're putting the appropriate active ingredients out, to be sure we're getting those active ingredients incorporated effectively so we can balance this so-called new normal for rainfall and precipitation in the future.
Kip Jacobs, my guest, Technical Service Manager, Northern Field Crops for UPL North America. Kip, thanks for the update.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Dale.
Again, you can find out more about UPL products at upl-ltd.com. Stay tuned. Back with more after this.
Watch your step, Ohio. Winter weather is here, so let's keep your team from slipping on the job. Make sure to examine your work areas daily and clear hazards that could result in a potential fall. Hoses, cords, buckets, farm tools, and equipment can all pose a problem. As the days get darker, you'll want to replace any poor lighting, too. Keep walkways and entrance areas clear, dress for the weather, and stay safe and warm. This safety tip brought to you by the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation. Visit pwc.ohio.gov for more safety resources.
Hi everyone, this is Dale Minio from the Ohio AgNet. For a quarter of a century, I powered my truck with biodiesel, traveling the state promoting agriculture. Biodiesel is a reliable, high-performance fuel that works in any diesel engine without modification. The best part is that with every mile driven, I'm fueling the economy, doing good for the environment, and supporting soybean farmers. Learn how using biodiesel can add value to every bushel of soybeans grown at soyohio.org. Let's check back in with Joe Everett. He has more on biodiesel production.
The United States is on pace to surpass 5 billion gallons of biodiesel and renewable diesel consumption for the first time. That caps 2024 that saw increased efforts from states to drive adoption, updates to technical standards, growth in soybean crush capacity, and growing public support for clean transportation fuel. Clean Fuels Alliance America CEO Donald Riega says a strong 2024 has set the industry up for further growth in air, marine, rail, and heavy-duty transportation use. Our industry has become a central force in the global effort to curb greenhouse gas emissions. One factor in the improvement is the number of states that have implemented clean fuels policies. Updated fuel specs will create opportunities in the new year. Biodiesel and renewable diesel will continue to make farms stronger in 2025. I'm Joe Everett reporting.
And thanks, Joe. Well, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is announcing a second round of payments for dairy producers through the Organic Dairy Marketing Assistance Program 2024, providing an additional $8.7 million to help dairy producers mitigate market volatility, higher input and transportation costs, and unstable feed supply and prices that have created unique hardships in the organic dairy industry. USDA's Farm Service Agency has already paid out $23 million in the first round of payments for eligible producers, bringing the total OD MAP for 2024 to $31 million. This funding gives organic dairy producers critical support as they continue to weather a combination of challenges outside of their control, said John Patterson, FSA State Executive Director in Ohio. The payments are intended to help producers stay in operation until markets turn to more favorable conditions. FSA accepted OD/MAP 2024 applications from September 30th to December 13th. FSA is providing financial assistance for a producer's projected marketing cost in 2024 based on their 2023 cost. OD/MAP 2024 provides one-time cost share payment based on marketing cost of pounds of organic milk marketed in 2023 calendar year or estimated 24 marketing cost for organic dairy operations that have increased milk production. OD/MAP 24 provides financial assistance that immediately supports certified organic dairy operations during 2024, keeping organic dairy operations sustainable until markets return to more normal conditions. Time now for the Louis Dreyfus Grain Analysis, brought to you with Ryan Martin from Louis Dreyfus.
Grain markets finished off 2024 on a positive note, and now they do nothing until the markets open on Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's take a look back at what happened to finish out New Year's Eve. It was a full trading day, and it was good to have a full day this time around. Corn up 4 to 6 cents. We had beans up anywhere from 16 to 19.25 cents. Bean oil was up after being down most of the day. Bean meal was up. Wheat markets up anywhere from 2 to 5 cents overall. So that was the slow market when you get right down to it. And as we take a look at other marketplace activity, livestock had live cattle up. Hogs didn't fall apart too much. Meanwhile, the energies were up slightly. The Dow, that was the ho-hum market of the session on Tuesday. Talking about the reasons why. Well, it sounds like we had a decent amount of year-end managed money buying. That's what lifted corn and soybeans to new rally highs. The EIA biofuels feedstock report was bullish on soy oil because of expanded usage, and Argentina's model had more rain coming into the week 2 forecast. That would have been not necessarily as good of a thing, but the dryness leading up to those rains, so through the next week or so, that's still called about a supportive here overall. We didn't really see a whole lot of super exciting news in the wheat, and that's why it took till late in the session on Tuesday until wheat got dragged higher by everything else. March beans rose significantly, had a high of the day well above 10.05, and we saw corn trading significantly higher as well. 462 was a very strong resistance level, though, for this market to try and go through as we get into trading in 2025. That's the way your market finished up. Again, markets closed for New Year's Day. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. To wrap up 2024, March corn was 458.5, up 6 1/4. December new crop 443 3/4, up 4 3/4. January bean sale ratio 1, up 16 1/4 at 998 1/4. November new crop beans up 17 cents, closing at 1025 1/4 cent. The March wheat was 551.5, up 3 1/4. July new crop up 2 3/4, closing 569.5 cent. In livestock, December cattle 193.85, down 23. February cattle 191.60, up $1.30. February lean hogs down 33 cents at 81.30. April lean hogs 86.58 down 48 cents. March feeder cattle $262.98 up $1.93. Happy New Year, everyone. This is the Ohio AgNet.